Alita, Battle Angel might have dropped back in 2019, but ever since its release, fans have been buzzing about the possibility of a sequel, directed by Robert Rodriguez and produced by James Cameron. The movie follows Alita, a cyborg who wakes up in a messed-up world with no memories. As she uncovers her crazy fighting skills, she goes on a quest to find out who she really is. While it didn't break any box office records, it developed a loyal fan base that's still eager for more. The movie pulled in $44 million globally, which sounds good at first glance. But when you consider its $170 million budget and similar marketing costs, it didn't exactly hit the mark for the studio. Because of the box office numbers, any talks about a sequel seemed to be shelved for a while, but now it looks like Alita, Battle Angel 2, might actually be back in the mix. While updates on a sequel have been slow, the producer of Alita 2 is optimistic about its future. Jon Landau has reassured fans that discussions are still happening for the long-awaited follow-up and expressed pride in the original film. In an interview, he said, "I want to be able to definitely do more in that world," highlighting that the project is a top priority for him and co-producer James Cameron. Alita 2 is confirmed, with Cameron reaffirming this as recently as July 2023. When asked about his upcoming projects, he mentioned, "And on Avatar, I'm working in Wellington and Los Angeles. And on the new Alita, Battle Angel films, I'll be working in Austin." Earlier, director Robert Rodriguez shared that conversations about the sequel were picking up again in May 2023. He expressed excitement about the talks with Cameron and Landau, saying, "Yeah, we have been talking about it, so we would love to make one. However, it's still unclear when the sequel might actually drop." Rodriguez noted, "We haven't said it for sure yet. They're slammed with all the Avatar stuff, but they've definitely been engaging in it." Now, some of you might think the term talks sounds a bit vague, and it's tough to tell if a sequel is already in the works or if it's just an idea floating around. While we still don't have a release date for Alita 2, and it might be a few years off, there's been some encouraging news lately. On October 5th, 2023, director Robert Rodriguez gave an update, saying that production is likely to kick off once the SAG-AFTRA strikes are sorted out. He mentioned, "Yeah, Jim and I always talk about how we'd love to do another Alita. We would love to." Since the strikes wrapped up, producer Jon Landau echoed Rodriguez's enthusiasm about the sequel, which is a promising sign that things could start moving soon. Although it's hard to say who will join the Alita 2 cast, it's a safe bet that Rosa Salazar will return as Alita. In fact, Salazar has been quite vocal about her commitment, stating, "I will fight to make Alita 2 happen until the end of time." As for the rest of the original cast, they might return, except for Mahershala Ali, who played Vector. We could see Edward Norton reprise his role as the villain Nova, and Christoph Waltz come back as Alita's father figure. In December 2023, actor Jeff Fahey shared some positive vibes about the sequel, mentioning, "I like working with Robert Rodriguez, and we'll be working together again hopefully in the summer." Fingers crossed that we're going into Alita, Battle Angel 2. This update hints that Fahey might return as Bounty Hunter McTeague. While Rodriguez hasn't revealed any details about the potential story for Alita 2, it's clear that the franchise is gearing up for something exciting. With Nova still alive and being the franchise's Thanos-level threat, it's likely that Alita will be on a mission to track him down and seek revenge for Hugo's death. Plus, we might finally get a look at Zalem, the Sky City teased in the last shot of the first film. Plainly put, Alita, Battle Angel is missing its third act, the crucial payoff to everything that precedes it, where Alita actually confronts her ultimate obstacle. Nova is established as that looming threat from early on, making him the logical end of the story. However, the film's ending only serves as a culmination of the second act, where Alita openly states her intent to confront Nova, yet it fails to provide an actual climax. The result, Alita's character arc feels incomplete. Throughout the movie, we witness Alita entering this new world with wide-eyed wonder, initially wanting to protect those around her. Her journey evolves from becoming a hunter-warrior to navigating a romantic relationship with Hugo and their quest to reach Zalem. But the root conflict consistently ties back to Nova, thus her ability to shape her own destiny hinges on him. Having her face off against a mere lackey after just discovering Nova's existence doesn't serve as an adequate substitute for a true confrontation. There's a valid argument for Alita's victory as a coming-of-age story, her rise to an independent figure able to challenge evil with her sword. But it feels more like promise without fulfillment. It's reminiscent of Star Wars, ending with the Millennium Falcon's arrival on Yavin 4. It may signify the resolution of Luke's initial mission to save Princess Leia, but there's still a greater threat that looms. Similarly, Alita, Battle Angel pulls off a similar trick, leaving audiences with an unsatisfying void. In contrast, The Empire Strikes Back may leave Han's fate and the truth about Luke's parentage in question, but it still offers a sense of completion to the story established up to that point. The roots of Alita, Battle Angel's issues can be traced back to the two-episode 1993 anime adaptation based on the early volumes of the manga. James Cameron's affection for Alita is evident in how he incorporates elements from the OVA into the film, which alters the story in significant ways. Many manga adaptations focus on certain elements from their animated versions, and in Alita's case, the film offers much more context about her past, Motorball, and the character of Nova, details that were introduced in later volumes of the manga and are absent from the anime. This expanded narrative scope makes the anime story tighter, focusing on Alita's love for Hugo, whose desire for Zalem fuels the plot. In the anime, Vector serves as a more prominent villain, and his defeat provides closure, while Hugo's death concludes Alita's romantic arc. While the expansions in Alita, Battle Angel generally enhance the narrative, adding depth to Alita's backstory and the exhilarating spectacle of Motorball. Introducing Nova as a larger threat than Vector shifts the focus away from Hugo. Alita's conflict stems largely from external sources, which means Hugo's death acts more as a plot motivator than a satisfying resolution. The climax ultimately leaves audiences with only a shadow of a threat they've barely glimpsed until the very end. Despite its missteps, Alita, Battle Angel was clearly intended as the first entry in a new franchise, laden with material to set up future stories from the manga. Many aspects we've discussed, like Alita's past and the Motorball arc, are central to later volumes. Yet the ambitious scope of these expansions does not align with the resolution of Alita's character arc, which should have served as a standalone story. A crucial mistake for potential franchises is being so focused on laying the groundwork that they neglect to tell a compelling, singular story. Films like Star Wars and Iron Man succeeded in building expansive universes because they started with strong, self-contained narratives. Alita does manage to avoid this trap to an extent, offering subtle teases and integrating larger elements into the plot. However, the abrupt ending undermines these efforts, leaving the story too open-ended. And that's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.